Okay, thank you. In the first part of this brief talk, I will discuss Israel as a settler colonial genocidal society. In the second part, I will refer to a future vision of Palestine proposed by a group of Palestinian and Israeli intellectuals of a democratic and pluralistic Republic of Palestine. In 2010, in the British journal Holy Land Studies, the genocide scholar Martin Shaw wrote an essay arguing that the Zionist and Israeli forces committed genocide in 1948 and that there has been a kind of slow-motion genocide directed at Palestinian society since then. Martin Shaw drew attention to how Raphael Lemkin created the term genocide in Chapter 9 of his 1944 book Axis Rule in Occupied Europe. That genocide does not necessarily mean the immediate destruction of a nation, though it certainly may and usually does involve mass killing. Rather, genocide signifies a coordinated plan of different actions aiming at the destruction of the essential foundations of the life of a national group, with the aim of destroying the group's continued existence. Genocide may be extremely violent and incremental. Shaw points out that Lemkin's formulation of genocide here is consistent with the 1948 UN Convention's legal definition, which refers to, quote, acts committed with intent to destroy, in whole or in part, a national, ethnic, racial or religious group as such, end of quote. Shaw also sharply criticised the term ethnic cleansing as a euphemistic and perpetrator-inflected concept which should not be used in historiography and social science. And that in any case, there can be no clear distinction between ethnic cleansing and genocide. Curiously, in a furore that erupted in 2011 between genocide scholars over Martin Shaw's essay, the Israeli genocide scholar Israel Shani, who directs the Institute on the Holocaust and Genocide in Jerusalem and edited the Encyclopedia of Genocide, made a furious personal attack on Shaw, while also saying that while he did think there were genocidal massacres during the war of 1948, he did not consider the ethnic cleansing that took place was genocide. Nor did Shani think there was any genocidal objective. In Shaw's view, however, the genocidal objective is inscribed in the genocidal mentality that is implied in the notion of transfer that is a feature of the history of Zionism. I agree with Martin Shaw. I would also add that the Zionist and Israeli continuing genocide of Palestinian society relates to another part of Lemkin's originating definition, where Lemkin proposes that there is an inherent and constitutive relationship between genocide and settler colonialism. Lemkin argues that genocide involves a double process of intentional destruction of a human group and the relentless attempt to replace that group with a new society. In this sense, I regard Israeli apartheid, which fits the UN definition of apartheid in its Convention on the Suppression and Punishment of the Crime of Apartheid of 1973, as an instrument of what Martin Shaw and many other scholars, like Omar Barghouti and Sari Makdisi, refer to as Israel's slow-motion genocide of the Palestinians. The Israelis use apartheid as part of the concerted actions by which they can destroy the essential foundations of Palestinian society so that it can no longer be a society. Zionist Israel, from 1948 to the present, is guilty of genocidal acts as defined in Article 2 of the 1948 Genocide Convention. Furthermore, the worldwide Zionist organisations, along with the nations across the world that support Zionist Israel in its genocidal acts, principally the United States, are guilty, in terms of Article 3 of the Convention, of complicity in genocide. Okay, that's the first part. The second part of my talk refers to the foundational principles that a group of Palestinian and Israeli intellectuals have recently suggested as a preamble for what they refer to as a future Republic of Palestine. I am one of the international signatories. Briefly, the drafting committee suggests that the historic land of Palestine should be shared by all those who now live in it, and its indigenous people who have been expelled or exiled from it since 1948 and their descendants, regardless of religion, ethnicity, national origin, or current citizenship status. There will be a separation of religion and state. Its governing institutions will be based on the principle of one person, one vote. There will be a constitution and a Bill of Rights and Citizens' Charter. There will be a Truth and Reconciliation Commission inspired by the Truth and Reconciliation Commission of post-apartheid South Africa, promoting truth and reconciliation between all the diverse peoples of Palestine. The right of return and reparations for Palestinian refugees in accordance with UN Resolution 194 will be implemented. Fundamental rights and freedoms, as articulated and enshrined in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and United Nations covenants, will be established, and cultural diversity and multiculturalism will be recognised in the Constitution and celebrated. The owners of private property that has been expropriated from Palestinian refugees and from Palestinian citizens of Israel and from Palestinians in the West Bank and Gaza shall be given the choice of restoration of their property or reparations for themselves or their descendants. Consistent with the principles of the Constitution and international law, the Jewish National Fund shall be disbanded and assets held by this entity or the Israel Land Authority returned to its rightful owners. The official languages of the Republic will be Arabic, Hebrew and English. Within 1 year of the creation of the new state, laws will be passed outlawing capital punishment and prohibiting torture in any form. The new state shall seek and actively contribute to the establishment of a nuclear-free zone in the Middle East. Israel's weapons of mass destruction, including but not limited to its arsenal of nuclear weapons, inherited by the Republic of Palestine, shall be dismantled or destroyed under the auspices of the United Nations and the International Atomic Energy Agency, within 1 year of the creation of the new state. The state, through its constitution, shall include and incorporate limitations on the state to engage in wars and conflicts outside its borders. And this is my final sentence. The writers of the preamble suggest that the campaign for the new society should be in conjunction with the BDS movement.